Good morning, afternoon, or good evening, whatever time it is for you. I'm Cyclone. It's time for Let's Play Train Simulator Classic, and today it's the Brooklyn Baller scenario, and I'm not going to make too much of an introduction on this. We're just taking a train. The train number doesn't... It must be a weekend train, because the train's in the 9000 series, and I know Hicksville is somewhere in the 2000 area, somewhere in that range, so I think this must be a weekend train. It must be the 2200 series that we're looking at. So, yeah, Atlantic Terminal, we're going all the way to Hicksville. And we're terminating there. So that's basically that. I don't remember the number 9220 in my list anywhere. So I'm going to assume this must be a peak service. I think most of the services actually for Hicksville actually come from Penn Central. This must be a peak service. The time doesn't make sense for a peak service. I don't know. We're just going to play it. Let's go ahead and get into Atlantic Terminal. Let's go ahead and start the drive to Hicksville. See what we have going on here. Good evening, engineer. Set up the train and take us into Atlantic Terminal Track 3 where we will enter revenue service. Please ensure that you pull right up to the bumper. I think I call it a buffer in Track 3. In any case, train on, get going. I say get going. Whee! Right up the head. Plumbing key out. Let's fix that problem. Now we can go. I swear I didn't move it up more than once, but headlights are now on. We're going to put the train... Actually, let's get it coasting, because we can coast on the flat ground here. So I'll put it in a 5.4, I guess. We're going to move this into a no passenger setting for right now. So we're going to go through all the destinations here. You see Freeport there. That actually is a destination. Grand Central obviously is on there for its reasons. Huntington is beyond the route. Ronkonkoma is beyond the route. Port Washington is a turnoff at Woodside. Metzville is on the Port Washington route. They've been using it for COVID vaccinations, actually. And Valley Stream is along the southern route, leaving past Jamaica to the south. And I think it leads towards Far Rockaway. West Hempstead is another terminus, and we're just going to go no passengers. Not special, but no passengers. Excuse me. It's kind of funny. I'm actually learning where all these places are, and I don't even live in the United States, let alone in America, in New York. I don't live in the United States, let alone in America. That makes a lot of logical sense, ladies and gentlemen. My English, very subpar. No, I don't live in the United States, let alone in New York, is what I'm trying to say. Being a Canadian, it's surprising I'm actually picking up all these locations, just remembering where they all are. And now I can basically talk to anyone and say, yeah, you know, if you want to go here, you just hop on this train. Kind of funny to be able to do that. I can guide New Yorker around. I could work for this railroad. I say I could probably work for this railroad. Of course, I'm Canadian, so I couldn't, but we'll ignore that detail. Otherwise, I probably could. Conductor is probably an entry-level job. Well, or the wait staff on the cars, one or the other. Conductor's probably a second level. Never mind. So that signal there looks like a single yellow light, which means I can go. Means it's restricted, but it means I can go. I'm taking the train down to 4 because I'm going to start having an increase on this 1.2% uphill gradient very, very soon. It's going to get to the point that it's annoyingly fast that the speed goes up. And when that happens, well, it's just going to be annoyingly fast when the speed goes up. Like, literally, that's all it is. Annoyingly fast. A minimum brake is very strong. I expected a minimum brake to not have as much power as it did in a 5 mile per hour setting. But it takes a lot of speed off right away, which is very, very intriguing. But again, it's probably realistic. I mean, we had an unnamed source who confirmed that it's realistic. And if he says it's realistic, you know what? You did something right. So, I'm sure there were things that because of the game engine are realistic but had to be changed. I'm sure that's the case. Entering Atlantic Terminal. Oh, I thought my brake didn't take, so I actually put an extra brake notch on for a second. Because I thought I had to push it again. So we've crossed the junction coming into Atlantic Terminal. We're now going to pull into the platform, which is to our left as we enter. It'll be to our right when we pick up passengers, as we're going to change to the front car. Remember that we were told you have to pull right up to the buffer. They are not joking. This barely fits an 8-car train. And in fact, in some real life trains, I was looking at the app because now I've kind of become interested in looking at how these trains operate for some reason. I've noticed that they do bring 8-car trains into Track 3. Not just 6-car trains, but full 8-car trains. You can't fit more than that. But when you fit an 8-car train in this platform, you are literally going all the way to the buffer, and they sometimes will not open those back 4 cars. So if they don't open those back 4 cars, and you're on those back 4 cars, you're walking up the train to get off, which is a little bit of exercise. To a certain extent, I get it, because they actually don't expect the train to be very busy. So they're basically saying if you're getting off the train before Atlantic Terminal, ride in the back cars will let you off that way. If you're getting off at Atlantic Terminal, stay in the front cars, get off that way. But I was watching a train earlier, and it was still leaving towards Atlantic Terminal with half the passengers in the back 4 cars. I'm thinking to myself, how did they get out? They had to walk through the train to get out. The buffer is coming up. We're also, so is our time limitation, actually. We will not discuss the time limitations. So we're going to bring the speed down to about 3 now. I'm going to try to coast around the 3 area here. Because we're 1/10 of a mile. We have to go all the way to this buffer if we can. So it's a very, very chancy thing to do, but we have to do it. Look at that. We're at 0. Hopefully that's enough. Let's open the doors right here. We're going to find out how we did. I'm going to look at the back of the front of the train very quickly, and we're going to find out that if we go over here, oh, we had a small amount of space. What about the back of the train? You hear the doors open again. Excellent. That is not the train. This is. And the front door is not open. Ah, how much am I off? Seriously? Look how much I'm off. Just a tiny... I'm actually on the platform. I am on the look, game, I am on the platform. Don't. You know what? Forget it. Let's just. I don't get it. I don't get it. This can go off. I can switch. This can go on. I'm going to take care of that signal in front of us right now because you can see it very clearly. So Control Tab. We're clear to pass. That's now our restricting signal. Let's look at the train as we get ready to start this service. As before, we need to set our passenger board to allow us to, or destination board to allow us to move to our next location here. So we're going to head up to Hicksville here, and that is set to go. You can see blank is the default up here, but we are going to go to Hicksville, obviously. So there we are. We're all set up. Let's get ourselves started as soon as we're ready. Okay, engineer, ready to depart. Our first stop is East New York. All right. Let's turn our headlights on. Let's not forget that step. Let's just check our destination board again, make sure it's set. It was set for Hicksville, so we're good to go. Signal was clear, thankfully. And we're off. We're off on probably one of the more annoying journeys on this route. And I know if I come through this route in my own creations, I'm probably not going to do it in career mode because this area is just annoying to drive through. With 7 speed limits changing everywhere along this part of the route. So, yeah, not a lot of fun. Just this slow 5 all the way out. You're 45 at the highest until you get to East New York, and then you can finally go fast for a little while until you pull into Jamaica. And only then does the route really start getting fun. So, yeah. Oh, that is a train coming in, by the way, to the next to us. Like, if we take a look back at the station, preferably. All right, checking our speed. I need to increase in speed, so I'll do that very quickly. I'll go back and check that train again. So that is just a train to Atlantic Terminal. It doesn't actually have a train number, which is really mysterious. But I believe that is based on a real train. I believe that is a real train. I don't have the timetable in front of me right now, but it is a 2233 or 2235 or something like that train that that actually comes in at this time, because you see a few trains come in here every hour during the weekday. But this looks like a weekend service because we have a 9,000 service, so I'm going to assume it's a weekend service. What I don't know is if it's accurate to weekday or weekend. That's what I do not know. So the service might not 100% match up. Who cares? It's an AI service. And it fits the period where we're leaving anyway, so we'll take it. This train is kind of like a special train that's been put on for whatever reason. I don't know why, but special train that's been added. We're not the regular departure. How disappointing. I like being regular. What? I don't know. Don't criticize me for that comment. Come on. Do-do-do. So getting up close to 6 again. 7 will be too high for now. 45 is now going to be our speed, but we have to wait as usual for the entire sign to pass the sign to pass the back of the train before we're allowed to start speeding up to the more desirable speed limit, which means you're actually going somewhere. So we have to wait for what seems like a century in order to do this. If you think this is slow, try having to do this 2 or 3 times because you made a stupid mistake and sped up as you left early. You sped up early as you left into the 45 and lost your perfection by doing it that way. So if you think what I'm doing is slow, just think having to do it 2 or 3 times. Let us go. If we were a 6-car train, we could speed up now. That's what I don't like about long trains, ladies and gentlemen. They make you go slow longer. I'm trying to push it here, but I'm going to fail. Oh, I actually could have made it. Let's go! Speed, my old friend, I have missed you. Since I see a 30 coming up, I know I'm going to get a 40 code at a signal up ahead, so I'm going to just go ahead and stop at 40. We're going to have to eventually drop to 30 anyway. Here we go. That will do the job for now. I was increasing speed unnecessarily. Fantastic. Thank you. So there's a green over yellow. That is an approach medium. We're now limited to 30, and we just got 2 beeps. 1 beep, 2 beep. Ah, ah, ah. And both icons now say 30, so we know we're good for speed at this point. We're also on a slight uphill, which we're trying to adjust for, and failing. There is Millstrand Avenue, which is not a stop today. Just to show you, East New York is indeed our stop. As we get to the end of this platform, we're going to be allowed to go the luxurious 45 again. I'm going to wait until we clear that before we do any more speed increase at this time. And we have cleared that, so we will do speed increase at this time. This will give us a chance to take a look at the train from outside. Very, very nice view of extra large going by in the... and there's the ad for the finale. The hot show on TV that is a finale. The finale is tonight, apparently. I don't know. Ah, traffic. Okay, back in the cab. So we have a little bit of leeway here, so I'm going to leave myself a few miles in case I suddenly find my speed increasing. I know there's going to be at least one uphill up ahead somewhere, or downhill rather, up ahead somewhere. Let's move that down to coast. That will do for the time being. We're going to hit an uphill right now, and the downhill appears to be after that, which seems normal. You go up a hill, then you go down a hill. That's how hills work. You have a top and you have a bottom on all around. It is a circular environment, though in our case it's a flat line. There's our clear signal, by the way. That is the normal clear signal that you see on the route. So there you go. We're good for proceeding at this time. Speed increase, 1.9% downhill gradient. That is a heavy downhill gradient, but it will smooth out in a hurry, I believe. We are now dipping back into what looks like a tunnel area, but it may not be actually registered as a tunnel. It may actually just be registered as regular ground that you can go through even with your camera by itself, and as a result you might be able to get outside the train. No, you can't. We actually are stuck inside. Never mind. Never mind. Of course we can do that and that works, but we can't look at the outside of the train. Outside looking at trains is not allowed. Can we go to the passenger view? Yes, we can. Ooh. Yeah, that looks about as light as they are today, that's for sure. That's as light as they are on the timetable for the weekend. Okay, we're going to begin a slow brake application at this time. The irony of the way I put that is that we're talking about a slow brake application. I don't know why I consider that funny, but I do. Yeah, we're halfway in. We're going to need more brakes. Actually, I wanted more brakes. I didn't want to take them off completely. We are fully in the platform, so it's just a matter of coming to a stop now. We have a proceed signal there. We're not worried about that right now. Doors are open at East New York. train. Leaving East New York, our next stop is Jamaica. And today we're pulling into track 7. So this is one of the 2 tracks that normally serves traffic on this line at this time of night in 2019. Nowadays you might find some trains pulling into platforms 11 and 12. Those 11 and 12 might have been built as early as 2020. I'm still going to try to use some 2020 schedules on here when I see something interesting. But, and I'm going to even use some current day schedules where I can just make them fit however I want to make them fit. I'll just be as creative as I want to be, obviously, because that's this game inspires creativity. We're getting up to a 70. Train speed is still a 60. So, yeah, I actually found the COVID timetables, ladies and gentlemen. The March 2020 Essential Services Operation, whatever it was they called it. And I'm willing to dare take us back to the start of the pandemic when ridership was basically nil. And I think it still has not recovered from the days of the where the pandemic started. I don't think it's recovered because every train I've looked at, with the odd exception where a car has a few more people in it, pretty much almost every train I've looked at is 35% capacity. It's like there's no real benefit to having so many trains going around. You would think that they would actually cut back the services knowing this, but they don't. Maybe they already have, and I don't know, but like I would argue they don't need so many services. They could probably make this Atlantic Terminal service do the trip to Hicksville and take care of the Penn train to Hicksville, make it a transfer from somewhere else. And that would save costs of that train going back and forth. So I don't know why they do that, but another train going back and forth. Of course, I'm kind of sputtering when I say that. Like, on the one hand, I keep thinking that the time that they should have that one train an hour. If they can't fill one train over the course of an hour, are they really making enough money to cover their expenses? Like, they can't even get 35% of the train filled. The entire train, 35%. Is that normal ridership? Is that normal? Like, how are they even breaking even? How are they breaking even in this operation if they're not filling 35% of the train? And they're probably charging more to the people that do ride because they have to cover their expenses. And they realize this is the only way they can do it. So it might cost more than it actually should to take these trains, which is unfortunate because if there are more people riding, you might have more economical fares. Meanwhile, you can go to, I don't know if this has changed, but you can go to Munich. You can head down to Garmisch-Partenkirchen for 12 euros, which is an entire hour's drive down there. Now, maybe that's high compared to train prices here after conversion, but yeah. The whole idea is if the train can be made cheap enough, you don't need airplanes. But I think in America there's an affinity to flying in the air. So people tend not to ride the train because they prefer flying in the air. If I were going to ever go down to Florida on my own without driving, I probably would take the train. It'd be an Amtrak. It'd be my butt would be very uncomfortable by the end of the trip, I'm sure. But you can literally get those sleeper coaches, then just walk around the train while you're on a regular basis, so you don't have to sit down all the time. We're going to get a train code drop, I think at not the next signal, but the one after that. So I'm just kind of keeping my speed where it is right now. Actually, it might be this one. It might be this one that takes me to a 40. Nailed it. I was under 40. What? Geez, they want you to be well under the speed limit when they let you back up, don't they? My goodness. If you're not at the speed limit, they want you to go well under it. We're going to have a 30 coming up anyway, so let's just drop it. I know, relax. Yeah, it's a 30. So we might have missed it, but or maybe we're coming up on it right now. Let's whistle for this area. We should be seeing Boland's Landing if we haven't already seen it. Maybe it's at the end of the train. I can't get to the end of the train now, but I think it's on this side of the tunnel. Yeah, there's Boland's Landing right there. That area, that's the staff pickup point I mentioned in the previous episode. So that's a staff pickup location. And you can see another one over on the other side here. That's the staggered station setup that we have there. There is another train to Atlantic Terminal. That is the other service from the real-life timetable that was added for this particular journey. 20 coming up. We're going to get dropped to a 15. I'm just going to bet on it right now. If I were to put money on it, I would say we're going to get dropped to a 15 at this signal. But they might do it after the 20 because we're not quite at the 20 yet. I can call him, can't I? I can call him. That's a 15. Yep. That. And thankfully I got to 16, but it wasn't speeding because we're still on 30. So I could theoretically get away with it for a little bit longer, which is why I'm pushing 15.9 right now. Hoping that nothing increases. But there is... I want to say we've already been through the Crater of Death. So we're probably okay for getting out of... or getting into Jamaica now. At the desired speed limit of slow miles per hour. So you can see at Jamaica we're being quiet. You can see at Jamaica we're being given an arrow stop point at the signal. The whole idea is that we should be stopping at the signal, not after the signal. And you can see there's a slight bit of platform after the signal. So when the route was created, the signals and the platforms were both followed exactly. And I'm pretty sure that caused problems in the creation of this route. I would suggest that having an AI train that's designed to stop at the end of the platform go beyond a signal probably caused problems. And that would probably explain why there's an arrow sitting there for us to stop at. So that benefits the AI train. So you want to make sure that you use the 8-car stop sign or the 6-car stop sign, whatever it may be, when you go to stop a train at Jamaica, because very often if you don't do that, you're going to find it might want to go beyond the platform, and let's just say that could really muck things up if you let it do that. So gotta be careful coming into Jamaica to make your stop exactly where you need to, or before that if you don't want to pull the whole train in. You can stop anywhere on the platform as a player and it will accept it. But if you're waiting for an AI service to come in and you pull past that signal, that AI service may never come in, or you may end up on the same line as it for all we know, because the game will just suddenly screw up and think that you're in the block and hey, the AI train can't go anymore. Would be fun if that train runs into you, wouldn't it? Memories of Mariah's Pass. So we are going to have a signal to allow us to leave ahead. We'll talk about that in a moment. We're at the 0 point. Let's go ahead and stop in view of this signal, which I will again explain in a moment. Doors are open at Jamaica, and it looks like we are half a minute early. Excellent. Leaving Jamaica from track number 7. That signal I said I was going to tell you about is a slow clear. That means you can go through the interlocking at slow speed. I'm going to go ahead and just kind of let... well, you're not going to see much. Never mind. I was going to say I'll let you see everything yourself here, but I just realized you can't really see very much. So never mind that. We'll just carry on with the original plan. We're going to be leaving via the Hull interlocking on the east side Jamaica. There are different interlockings on each side, I believe. Now, you may remember me mentioning on the weekend during On the Clock that the Hempstead line was closed over the weekend. We're going to be seeing the Hempstead line on the next episode, by the way, again. But, well, it's open, ironically enough. But the reason it was closed on the weekend was because of the addition of a new interlocking there. Now, I think they're calling it park interlocking at Floral Park, which makes sense. So, yeah, that's going to add more switches at the Floral Park area and make that a more robust section of track for transferring trains around. The thing, of course, is that Floral Park is not going to be updated on our version of the route. It's going to stay exactly as it was in 2019. Because we don't need anything in 2019. There's track construction everywhere right now. It was just kept in 2019 apparently for the sake of keeping it in 2019 because of all the track construction. That's my best logical guess here. But I do want to get one of those alternate timetable scenarios up, but I am going to work on that. I know I keep saying it, I just haven't had time because I keep playing these scenarios. So I haven't had time to work on anything else yet. Do not speed. I'm looking at that speed at 15.6. It went up to 15.7, and I'm literally glaring it into compliance right now. Do not increase your speed. You shall not pass 15 miles per hour. Yeah, I'm a geek, sue me. So you might have seen the line to St. Albans already leave by now. Let me actually check my map very quick because I don't remember if I've seen it or not. Where am I? No, we haven't seen it. It's still going to go over our heads. We're also being lured to a 60, so let's make sure we don't speed over 60, shall we? That's actually the line to St. Albans that I was just talking about. So it's going to try to head off in that direction. That might just be the line into the yard for all I know, but I think it's the St. Albans line. Can't see very much of it. We can go back up to 80 now, so let's do that. Before we're not speeding. So we're going to be passing, I believe, the Hillside's employee stop very, very soon. If we have already, then we're going to be coming up on Hollis next in very short order. So I might have missed Hillside. I mean, I was busy glaring at a number on my screen, so I'm just saying, well, this looks like it could be Hollis. That was Hollis. I think Queens Village is the next station. I mean, it's on the HUD up ahead, but I think it is the next station. No, hold on. I forgot one. What is this? I forgot a station, ladies and gentlemen. No, that was the Hollis lead. Never mind, that was not a station. Okay, I for some reason thought I saw a station there. My eyes are deceiving me. I'm going to move the throttle back to a coast setting because I can just let the train start coasting down now. Again, we have plenty of time for the stop. We're just going to go ahead and make sure we make the stop. So we're going to apply a minimum power now because I can. Why not? Or 5 seconds later. That's fine too, you know. It's not like I actually need to slow down or anything. Now heavier brake application will be handy. need more brakes. What am I doing lifting the brakes off? That was a stupid move. Okay, let's get that train fully stopped now. Trying to coax it in, I actually didn't realize what I was doing for a second. Okay, we need to keep applying for a moment because we're not quite at the end. And now we are good enough. We'll deal with that. Okay, arrival at Queens Village, track number 4. Leaving Queens Village, our next stop is New Hyde Park. We're going to be passing, I believe, Belarus and Floral Park along the way. Floral Park is where the interlocking work has been taking place in reality over this past weekend. No, it doesn't look like much, but I tell you the headlights are definitely on. Okay, it looks like, actually I have not been seeing those stations. Maybe I was wrong on the location of those stations. They might be after New Hyde Park. That's probably it. They're probably after New Hyde Park. No, there's one of them. Let's just verify who that is. That is, no, that was Floral Park. I was right on Floral Park. So I guess Belarus is after New Hyde Park. I'm still getting my ordering figured out, guys. It's fine. I'll make mistakes. So that, as you may have realized, is where the Hempstead line branches off to the south. So taking a quick peek at the map, you can see the Hempstead line heading down in that direction. And like I said, actually, no, that's Stewart Manor. Belarus is up on the northern line, a little further up. No, actually, no, it's on the, no, I don't know what I'm talking about anymore. It's on the Hempstead line. So that's why we haven't seen it. Okay, let's do a more major brake application just to make sure we don't have a problem. Like I almost did earlier. So I moved up to minimum brakes. I'm coming in a little bit slow. I mean, I still have time, but I'm coming in a little bit slow. We are now on New Hyde Park platform, so I've increased the brakes a little bit. And I'm not coming in as slow anymore. Remove the brakes for a moment because I'm now down to 10. I want to make sure I get towards the end of the platform as expeditiously as possible, so I'm adding a little speed back on. And that will allow me to now make a stop anytime in the platform limits, and I can open the doors. So we are now able to open those doors. I'm now going to show us a few seconds late, but that's not a big deal. So let's just get the doors open as quick as we can. And we've arrived at New Hyde Park. Leaving Maryland Avenue. Oh, sorry, try that again. Leaving New Hyde Park. Our next stop is Maryland Avenue, so do it the other way around there. That's how you do it. Okay, there we go. It is now, I believe, all stops to Hicksville, with 4 additional stops en route. We have Maryland Avenue, we have Mineola, we have Carl Place, we have Westbury, and then we have Hicksville itself. There's Maryland Avenue. Before I get too comfortable going up to speed, let's make sure we don't speed past our next stop, which is, according to our time, still far away. So I'm actually okay halting my speed. Not hauling, halting my speed at 50 for the purpose of slowing down. I'm up to a 30% brake now. That is going to pull me in, I think, just a little slowly. So I'm going to... No, never mind. I'm actually going to come in perfectly. Let's ease the brakes off a little bit because we're going to pull in a little further for 10 o'clock here. That'll do the job. We have arrived at Maryland, Maryland Avenue is where we've arrived. I will get that right one day. Leaving Maryland Avenue, our next stop is Mineola. Not really much to say about this segment of route. We're just going all stops at this point all the way to Hicksville, as I said already. And that's all we have to really know about at this point. Some of you may remember that with coming into Mineola, we're going to be passing by the Oyster Bay branch as we leave on the other side of the station. We'll worry about that at that point, but we're probably not going to see it anyway, so it's not going to be much to really worry about. So we're going to make our stop at some point in this area. We got lots of time, so let's coast it in. Lots of time. I'll actually move towards the end of the platform because why not? I can. There we are, arrival at Mineola Track number 2 today. Okay, looking like this is going to be mysteriously close. We're leaving Mineola, heading for Carl Place. And this looks like a much tighter stop than I thought it would be. I'm a little surprised by this. So we're going to see what happens with this stop. Because I'm not feeling confident about this one, I'm going to put it on max power. The Oyster Bay branch would have left us to the north now, so let's head back to where we are. There's the Oyster Bay branch going up there, and there's East Williton, followed by track exiting over there towards Oyster Bay, as I said. If you're going to call it the Oyster Bay branch, you might as well call it the... there might be a station called Oyster Bay on it, right? It is actually the terminus. The multiple branch lines give ways for everyone on Long Island to get on the railroad and get to where they need to go in New York. So I like the fact they built all those branch lines to different areas. And when the area of one branch line ends, another branch line immediately comes off the main line somewhere else. So instead of being one really long extra main line, they just have a whole bunch of branch lines to go through, and it's less disruptive that way, having just multiple different branch lines. Everyone gets the benefit of having a train without one area having an overexpansion of trains to make it so they basically don't want to live in the area. The $1 million homes become, well, multi-million-dollar homes become just $1 million homes, you know? That's how it works. I did not slow down in time. This could be interesting, guys. Max brake is on. We're going to eventually ease it up a little bit here. Like now. And I'm now slow enough I'm going to go ahead and coast. I want to make sure I get this stop done before the 45 marker, just to be certain I'm not going to have any problems. Which means I have to slow down immediately. So I slow down immediately. That'll do. 46 should be fine. So arrival at Carl Place. Let's take a look outside. Already moving, guard. Leaving Carl Place. Our next stop is Westbury. This timing also looks a little tight. But tight is acceptable as long as it is makeable. So I started cutting my throttle back because we have to stop for Westbury now. I'm going to go ahead and do a minimal brake now. We're going to go ahead and increase that to a higher brake at this time. And we may need to increase it just a wee bit more. Yeah, we're going to need to increase it quite a bit more. So 55% brake right now is going to do the job to get us to a platform entry speed. There we go. So now we're going to go 25% throttle as we enter the platform. That train coming by is train number 1729 to New York Penn. It's also making a stop, just like we are. So I like the attention that an AI was added even on the last stop of the journey to keep things interesting. I like that little detail. There's my favorite ad on the route. Drink the Big Apple. Mmm. Mmm. And doors are going to be opened at Westbury on track number 2. The other train's at track number 1, obviously. Leaving Westbury, we have one final stop at Hicksville. We've done this before. We can do it again. The only difference before was that we came from New York Penn. This is pretty much the exact same service, except we had to stop at East New York instead from Atlantic Terminal. And we had another station change. I think we might have stopped at Floral Park instead of Queens Park or something, or Queens Village or something like that. But other than that, very similar service there. Identical ending section. So 23:21 in the evening game time. That might be why I'm getting tired, because I'm looking at the game time and thinking, oh, I could use a nap. Maybe I should try drinking the Big Apple. Drink the Big Apple. Okay, I'll stop. Now, since this is a service to Hicksville, I expect an absolute stop by the end of the platform. So we're going to be eventually bringing our train to a stop inside of Hicksville, not because we want to, but pretty much by lack of choice. We don't have the option to continue. Whistleboard. There's all the signage. I knew you were there, signage. You did not let me down. Thank you for being there to tell me you're going to stop me from going as fast as I want to go. Looks like we have an extra minute on the timing right now. I'm not going to complain about that. That's complainable. Shut up. I knew where my speed was. You don't have to tell me. You don't need to babysit me like a child, like a petulant child. What you do? This will be a 40. And this will be the 30. We're going to also have a 15 at some point before the station as well, so let's just keep that in mind. Let's get this speed down now so I have maintained control over my own destiny. Thank you very much. So there, that is control over my own destiny. Destiny has been controlled. I'm now losing time on the timing only because we're stuck at going 30 and an 80, which is going to eat up your precious seconds very quickly. And now I'm going to get dropped to 15 for the apparent reason that I can't be dropped at the next signal. I almost sped. What the heck happened there? Just signs everywhere. That's all it is. But now I'm going to get the 15 at the next signal anyway, so I better be ready for that 15. There we go. Or maybe not. Maybe the track is going to let us continue. Oh, maybe it is. We're getting a 30 at Hicksville. Okay. Interesting. The absolute stop might not affect us here. This may be a service that continues to run Concom, and I didn't even realize it. Though I thought those started at Penn at this time of night, so I don't know. Well, we're going to see if we get an absolute stop request here. If we do, then we know that we have to stop before the end of the platform anyway. We're going to go ahead and try to hurry to the end of the platform at this point. Do we really not have an absolute... We really do not have a stop request here, do we? Okay. Fine, we'll open the doors, and that's the end of the service at Hicksville. Let's look at the train as we finish. Amusingly, the signal at the end of the platform was a solid horizontal line of 2 dots and a solid vertical line of 2 dots, which is another way to say medium clear. So that was a medium clear signal at the end of the platform. That's why I was not getting a 15 or an absolute stop request. So there you go. That means we could have actually continued on past this platform if we wanted to and actually failed the scenario naturally, which would be quite hilarious. I just wonder where we were pathed. I'm not going to worry about it. Anyway, that's the Brooklyn Baller scenario. We're going to be finishing that one. Well done, engineer. You've gotten the fans home safely from the game. Let's just move straight to the ending screen, shall we? What is with the bugs in this game? This is the 3rd time. Well, my 4,000 points has come again and not been scored, so I still don't get to go to level 40 on that bar at the bottom. Whatever that level 40 means, I have no idea. I'm just frankly annoyed at this point that keeps happening. I'm going to move on. I'm going to do the Hempstead one. We're going to see if that one allows me to score. We're going to have some blanks in the menu until we get to the final scenario, guys. So, we're going to do the Hempstead one next video, and then after we do the Hempstead one, we're going to move on to the last one, which is the one at Belmont. But I'm going to see if I can clear all those blanks before I go to Belmont. I don't know if I'm going to actually, if I'm going to have to just give up on the level 40 part. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and just basically clone the Railfan scenario 3 times. Well, 2 times at this point. Maybe a 3rd by the time I need it for another one. And I'm just going to put it in all of those spots and just let it play for 10 minutes. And that's going to get me to 1,000 points, hopefully. So, we'll see what happens. That'll clear it. I'll see if I can get all those stars shown on the menu so I know I don't have to come back to any of the career scenarios. I mean, I would know, but I don't like to leave them in there by chance. So, we'll see what happens in the future. But, for now, I'm going to move to the Hempstead scenario next time. Make sure you like this video. Make sure you subscribe to the channel. And I'm going to eventually do a tutorial to show you how to clone these scenarios as well. We're going to save the Railfan scenario itself for another video. But I'm going to show you a video on how to, or a little tutorial on how to clone these scenarios so you can actually put them into the spot of the official scenario so you can actually deal with this bug. This is a core bug, and we don't know if this core bug is ever going to be fixed because this game is just, old. There's something in the processing and the coding that is making these scenarios not be recognized as scenarios that can be scored on. I don't know why. Even on a non-official scenario, you can still get a score and get a star. So the fact that these ones are not, there is some weird core bug in there that needs to be attended to if they're going to keep using career mode. Otherwise, they're better off not even using career mode anymore. They might as well just use standard mode and call it a day. But even then, can we fail to get a checkmark in standard mode too? I don't know. All I can say is we'll take a look at the next video, the Hempstead video. Too Early for Work, I believe it's called, and we'll see if that one gives us a problem. So again, like, subscribe, and my name again is Cyclone, and you can make sure to follow the playlist on this as well. The playlist will now have 5 videos on it, obviously, and there are a couple more coming. Of course, if they're already there, we'll be starting in a second, so make sure you have a wonderful day, evening, night, whatever part of the world it is for you, and I'll see you for that next video in 3, 2, 1.